Welcome to today's video, where we're exploring a critical yet often overlooked aspect of modern dentistry, which could fundamentally change how we think about implant safety. I, Agatha Wong, Assistant Editor of Dental Asia, am delighted to be joined by Dr. Dirk Duddeck, founder of the CleanImplant Foundation, whose groundbreaking research has revealed something quite startling. Even sterile packaged dental implants from reputable manufacturers can harbor significant contamination from the production process. Dr. Duddeck's work has analyzed over 100 dental implant types from more than 20 countries, uncovering manufacturing residues that may contribute to peri-implantitis and implant failure. His foundation's independent testing program has created the Trusted Quality Seal, providing clinicians with a new standard for evaluating implant purity. Today, we'll discuss what motivated this important research, how these contaminants go undetected despite regulatory approval, and what this means for the future of implant dentistry. Dr. Duddeck, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, first of all, for your very good question. I could read that you, let's say, made some research about this, what we do, how we do, and why this has an impact, not only in the Asia-Pacific room, but worldwide. And I think it's a beautiful opportunity for us to spread this news to other countries than the areas than Europe and the US. I think most of the colleagues should be aware that there is something that is not okay in the field. But we still need information spread all over. So thank you for that.
So, Dr. Duddeck, what motivated you to found the CleanImplant Foundation, and what critical gaps in implant dentistry were you aiming to address?
This is a good question. I have to look back since, I think 15 years ago, I started to analyze dental implants with a scanning electron microscope. And what I found in this early research actually let my blood run cold, because I found tiny particles all over some implants. And we could identify these particles as plastic particles. If you ask dentists around the world, I assume the majority will assume that a sterile product is per se a clean product. But I had to learn that you can very well sterilize particulate contaminants. They are sterile, though they are there.
I see. So, despite CE markings and regulatory approvals, your research shows that many sterile packaged implants carry alarming levels of contamination. Why do these residues go unnoticed, and what implications does this have for clinical outcomes?
You cannot see these particles on neither thin film contaminants on the dental implants, not even with magnification glasses you have in your praxis usually. In the SEM, we can see not only these, say, tiny particles, smaller than 10, 15 microns, but we also can identify them with the elemental analysis. And the thing is, macrophages take out these particles, and they react with an expression of pro-inflammatory cytokines, like, for example, TNF-alpha or MMP8. That is leading to a substantial amount of bone loss and soft tissue degradation. TNF-alpha is the switch from an osteoclast blast to becoming an osteoclast. So the switch to let bone go away around the implant. So this is the problem. And we call this, it does not necessarily mean that any dirt or any particular contaminant leads to an implant loss, but we call it the beginning of a bad ending.
I see. Then, could you walk us through the scientific process your foundation uses to analyze implant purity? What methodologies and criteria are applied to determine whether an implant is clean?
We always commission the analysis to accredited testing laboratories. This is important because it's not having an SEM in the cellar of a university. And so we actually ask the laboratory to unpack the implant sample in a clean room environment class 5. So this is 2 digits cleaner than the packaging of the implant itself. So we do the unpacking and the scanning in an electron microscope in a clean room. We always see the full implant. So we use a specific technique. I won't go too much into detail, but it's fascinating, actually. And I have to apologize for my passion about that topic. But we collect up to 400 single SEM frames from one implant and then electronically stitch together we see a SEM mapping image and a wonderful super high resolution, and we can actually count any material that is not intended to be there. So we could identify from the grayscale, these are plastic or foreign metal particles in the image. And with this, we are going to have more information. And then based on that, we receive the data from the laboratory and then compare this to the guideline we published in 2017. So what is a clean implant? The major problem is, until today, there is no reference, no ISO norm defining particularly contaminants on any medical device, specifically on dental implants. So this is in 2017 with a board of professors like Professor Albrechtson and Vanderberg, Hugo de Bruyn, and practitioners like Michael Norton, the former president of the AO. So we have a group of 8, let's say, renowned scientists and practitioners. We came together and had a consensus paper regarding what is technically the standard, what could we expect, and what could we accept in the future based on what we see on the scanning electron microscope. Because what we see in the microscope is what the cells see. So this is we try always to have the vision of a macrophage. Is there breakfast on the implant? Is there some particles he takes up by phagocytosis? So having this threshold less than 10 particles, smaller than 50 micron. This is acceptable regarding organic material. We actually see foreign metals, unbelievable, but we see some iron, chromium, nickel particles sometimes, so stainless steel particles as a metal compound. We see remnants of the machining, some tungsten, not known to be favorable for any osseointegration. So we have, long story short, we have a threshold. We have a consensus paper, and based on that, we check the implants about the cleanliness. And this is, let's say, based on one implant sample. But to finally award an implant with a trusted quality seal, we speak later about this, we always have to find 5 implants, minimum 2 from the drawers of colleagues worldwide, and maximum 3 of these samples from the factory itself. So there's always a random sampling and no chance to kind of manipulate, send us extra clean, double polished implants to the laboratory. So we have a very good set of data then, and based on that, it's beyond it is clean or not clean, is for the award, the trusted quality seal. We have to mix the technical data, the technical cleanliness, and we need substantial information from clinical research publications about showing or proving a survival rate of more than 95% over a period of 2 years or longer. So we have a clinical success indicator and we have a technical indicator. And after 2 years, we have to repeat back to square one, and we have to collect implants again and again. It's like a stamp on the German license plate for a car. You have to bring it to a technician, check the brakes, if it's good to go for the road. So we check these implants every 2 years. And to date, we have around, I think we have 21 systems awarded from 18 companies. 4 systems are currently in the peer review. So I spoke about independent, unbiased research is not my decision. So no one for no money in the world can actually buy this quality seal. It's always the testing, and after everything is finalized, there's a peer review of 2 professors from the board with these 2 signatures. And then only for 2 years, it's valid to go and to call the implant system a trusted quality system certified by CleanImplant. Sorry for the long answer.
No worries about it. It sounds like a very long and very thorough process. Could you also share with us the link between surface purity and long-term implant success?
Absolutely. So in hindsight, what we found, we could identify even some material on dental implants, such as cell toxic residues, chemical compounds, identified by an additional technology. It's called time-of-flight secondary EMS spectrometry. Gives us an information about the chemical nature of any contamination. And we found DBSA, that is dodecyl benzoyl sulfonic acid, a very aggressive cleaning liquid, that a detergent that actually kills the cells, a remnant from the cleaning process in the factory. And we found, actually, by the way, it's rated as hazardous by the EPA, the American Environmental Protection Agency. We found just another one, DDAC10, which is a quaternary ammonium compound that is disrupting intermolecular interactions and the lipid bilayer integrity. So these are, of course, not accepted because from the chemical nature, it does not work fine. So when we identify these particles, we have a lot of plastic remnants on some implants. We invested some of our fundings in a research with the University of Zurich in Switzerland, where we added some contaminants on titanium discs. And in vitro tests, they are testing now cell viability, expression of TNF alpha and all this. So we know that the study is currently underway, but we know already that, let's say, long story short, cells don't like plastic. So we see a very good intermediate result that we are on the right track. Finding, let's say, the smoking gun that any contaminant to whichever amount has a biologic reaction. It's just like biology is not like a switch. It's always about balances. For some patients, let's say these 50 particles, 20 particles are too much. And a 20-year-old basketball player might cope with this and has a wonderful immune system. So we are dealing with biology. So this from our perspective, if it's avoidable, and it is technically avoidable, any contamination, then we should expect nothing.
I see. So you mentioned the trusted quality seal. How can clinicians use it to make better choices for their patients, knowing what we know about surface purity and long-term implant success?
Well, it's quite easy to find out because we are 100% transparent. Any dentist can go on our website. They see we published all data on these certified, trusted clean implant systems. Sometimes we receive these questions: Can we trust ABC? They give us brand names, and we are not testing brands. We are testing the products. And so sometimes we see nice implant series, and another series shows room for improvement. So it's always based on the implant system, and everybody can see on our website. And if you have a problem with an implant system and you see, let's say, an unusual early bone loss, sometimes you have failure rates out of the sudden more than 10, 15, 20% in your practice based on your new system. Sometimes even the systems have inconsistency in their quality. Then you just send us an email and we check our data. And if it's a concerning finding, we will inform the colleague. And it's up to him to give this information back to the industry, back to the sales rep, and tell him, hey, you can do better, because we have some information about, politely speaking, room for improvement on a specific implant system. So this is how everybody can profit from the information we have.
I see. So what messages do you have to dental professionals who may not yet prioritize implant surface cleanliness when selecting products?
Well, now it's going into medical ethics. I love that topic. I love the question. So for me as a oral surgeon, I was since 15 years in 2 universities. I worked in the oral surgery departments. It's every patient, no, every dentist, no, any medical and dental treatment is always a promise to the patients that, to the best of our knowledge, we are using the best techniques, having the best training on it, and using the best material. So as a dentist, we should know and not simply believe that an implant system is clean as promised by the industry. Let's say the rate is, by the way, in the last study, the percentage of significantly contaminated implant systems, no matter what size, no matter what country of origin, is some 25%. So 1 in 4 implants showing significant avoidable contaminants, particulate and thin film contaminants on the implant. So if a dentist should know that his implant system is as clean as technically possible and not simply just believe everything he sees in high glossy papers and high glossy information prospects. And he should not make his decision on a dental implant system based on the price or an extra benefit like an iPad on top or so. It's just, we are dealing with patients, and we owe this to our patients to have knowledge about the products we use.
I see. Then, beyond product selection, how can dentists actively contribute to promoting cleaner, safer implantology, both in practice and within the wider dental community?
Everybody can support this nonprofit initiative that is, by the way, constantly under attack by some companies who simply deny the fact that they have, let's say, not perfect products. Every dentist in the world can follow us on social media. We love to get in contact with them. We are happy for a like or so. And by the way, this is a live number. We have to date nearly 190,000 followers. That is more than some of the market leading companies have. So this gives us the information that dentists want to know more about their products. And we know that, and I'm convinced that this level of, let's say, not perfect implants, these 25%, there's 1 in 4 implants showing room for improvement. This is something we should never accept down there. And again, the dentist has to know, not simply believe, that his product is beautiful and clean.
I see. Then, moving forward, what are the CleanImplant Foundation's future research priorities, and how do you envision evolving the conversation around quality assurance in implant dentistry?
October last year, we recognized that the FDA, the American regulatory authorities, finally recognized or is focusing now on this particulate contaminants. There's a new guidance published regarding the cleanliness of dental implants, and they're actually demanding more or less recommending, actually, that is the right word, it's a recommendation, to use the same technical analysis we do since a decade now at the CleanImplant project. And having seen that, we see that there is an awareness in the market, not only by practitioners, by these numbers of nearly 200,000 colleagues, but we see the interest from the production side, from dental suppliers of dental implants, that they address us directly, even before they have a new type of implant, check them before it's going to go to the market. So we see that there is beautiful development in having more safety on this level. And in the end, a cleaner implant is more safety to every patient. And we are convinced that this level of contamination, I started the sentence a time ago, is the most underrated factor for this high incidence of periimplantitis worldwide. So I would expect that the cleaner the implants are on the market, the less early periimplantitis cases we will see in the market. And it's any periimplantitis case is just, it's not only work for the dentist, it's a mess. It's a patient who is not satisfied any longer, and you have to deal with this problem. So if the contamination of a dental implant is one of the keys to a safer and healthier implantology, I would be happy that this is a lasting impact of our project.
Dr. Duddeck, thank you for sharing such valuable insights about implant surface contamination and the vital work of the CleanImplant Foundation. Your research clearly demonstrates that regulatory approval alone isn't sufficient to guarantee implant purity, and that independent quality assessment plays the crucial role in advancing patient safety. For our viewers, the key takeaways are clear. Surface cleanliness isn't just a manufacturing detail. It's a fundamental factor in long-term implant success. The Trusted Quality Seal provides clinicians with an evidence-based tool for making more informed product choices, whilst the Foundation's ongoing research continues to raise standards across the industry. We encourage dental professionals to consider implant surface purity as a primary criterion when selecting products, and to stay engaged with the evolving conversation around quality assurance in implantology. The CleanImplant Foundation's website offers comprehensive resources for those wanting to dive deeper into this critical aspect of dental care. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing how this important work continues to shape the future of implant dentistry.